Hello there, AppSpy viewers. My name's Peter, and I have got a hands-on video for you. This time it is with Tank Biathlon. Tank Biathlon is a game in which you're in a tank, right? And you're doing biathlon events. But obviously tank-related biathlon events. So, so let's try this first one. So this is kind of like a trying to get as fast as possible, as quickly as possible. So I am driving down here, and different textures of ground will have different effects on my track. So for example, oh, I knocked into an obstacle there. If I go on this rubble, I go fast. If I go on sand, slightly slower. If I go on mud, slightly slower. That sort of thing. And at the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that I've got an accelerator. I've just whacked it on full because, you know, let's go, guys. I'm using the arcade settings at the moment. There is sort of a more simulation control scheme in which you can control both treads independently, but I'm just kind of using the arcade one because it takes less thought, and I need this. This is one of my favourite bits in the game. Bosh! That shed took no time in getting smacked up by my awesome tank. So we've moved on to another event now. This is where I need to keep the revs of my tank at a certain speed, and I do that by keeping the arrow green, by kind of keeping the meter at the same level, and that means that I get a fast time. So the game takes place over lots of different events. I think there's like 7 or 8, and maybe more actually, and you're kind of timed, and then you get a high score, and then you go, yay, I got a high score. And then you move on to different events. So it's kind of fun, I guess, in that way. Yep, there we are. Oh, shoot. So this is all about, this is like drag racing, in so much as I need to flick gears up at the right time when it goes into the green. Oh, just about. Oh, I thought I had the hang of it then. So it's kind of CSR-y. And the whole game is like a selection of mini-games in which you're in a tank. Not my cup of tea, because I try to escape reality. Things like tanks and warfare, generally, with my video games. So not exactly my favourite sort of a thing. But I'm sure the Russian audiences and ex-Soviet states will absolutely lap this kind of thing up, because it's about tanks. And that's not me being like xenophobic or anything like that. That is just a market reality. To say that, you know, Russia, that kind of area, they love their tank games. So if you are Russian and you are looking at this going, oh, that looks like my cup of tea, that's because this developer knows you and knows that you want to play tank games. So, oh, missed. That's a shame. So missed that target. That was basically me just aiming and trying to see if I can match up the, come on, match up the, you know what, sod you. Fine, whatever, missed, I don't even care. The game's pretty, like, isn't it? It's quite good looking. It goes to this weird IR look every once in a while. Don't really know why it does that. It's like they're being tracked. And this is me, like, driving around again, like trying to whip around the track as fast as possible. But yeah, the game looks pretty good. There's like dust hits the lens of the quote-unquote camera, and the UI seems fine, and controls are a bit naff because they're virtual sticks, but yeah, it's okay. Water's a bit basic, but again, I don't really care. I'm just doing really badly here. One thing that really irritates me is the narrator, the commentator, who is just kind of, you'll be doing fine one moment, and they're like, this is amazing, he's just absolutely knocking it out of the park. And then when you're doing badly, it'll be like, or like when you're just not doing as well as you could do, it's just like, this is a terrible performance there from the team. I bet they're really upset about that. And I'm like, nah, dude, nah, because like these touch controls aren't really helping me like get through this game particularly quickly. So, meh. And yeah, it's like either super positive or super negative, and there's no in between. And it feels really false as well, like this really obviously American commentator on something that is, the game sets it up as being about Russian countries and ex-Russian countries kind of competing with one another. So there's no like authenticity there either. So yeah, it seems fine. But it's Tank Biathlon. It's by a company called Grotburn, which I've had that once. Cleared up after I went to the doctors. We can restart this, see if we can see any more different levels and stuff. Like I say, good visuals, decent sound except for that commentator, and the controls are fine, a bit iffy, but interesting enough. It feels like, if I have to be honest with you, it feels like Track and Field Tank Edition. It feels like Track and Field for people who want to go and drive about in tanks because, I don't know, they're sort of marginally insecure about their place in the world. I don't know. Why do you like tanks? Like, more than cars? Who knows? I don't really get the whole tank appeal sort of a thing. But, yeah, I'd rather have a Track and Field game, but this works out just fine. The frame stutters, I guess you can probably attribute that to the fact that this is an iPhone 5C, so not quite top range, but decent enough. But it is running in an Elgato capture card, which is putting a little bit of stress on the device, so those little stops that you might see every now and again, yeah, they're probably not quite as prevalent if you're not recording. So I do love this bit though. Oh, I wish the game was just that. If the game was just tanks smashing through sheds, 10 out of 10 from AppSpy. I mean, we only give 5s. 10 out of 5 from AppSpy if it was just all smashing through sheds, honestly. But it's not. So, but this is just a quick hands-on video for you. Wanted to bring you a quick look at this. It's okay. If you like tanks and you like Track and Field, I suggest you go and have a quick look at it. And if you can put up with the weird controls, then all the better. So yeah, let me know what you think the appeal of tanks are in the comments below, and I'll speak to you all very soon. This is Peter with appspy.com. We review, you decide.